If you're feeling constantly tired, mentally foggy, or overwhelmed by worry, it's not just in your head. There's a system behind how your brain functions, how sharp you feel, how well you manage stress, and how deeply you sleep. That system is built, supported, and sustained by 3 daily pillars: how you eat, how you sleep, and how you move. Today, I want to give you a practical, science-backed plan that's not based on hype or trends, but on what we now understand about how the human brain and body are designed to work together. Follow this, and you'll notice your mind becoming clearer, your anxiety dialed down, and your sense of daily control rising. Let's start with food. Not just what you eat, but when you eat. The brain thrives on rhythm and routine. Eating your meals within a 10-hour window during the day helps regulate your circadian clock, reduces inflammation, and stabilizes energy. That means if your first bite of food is at 8 a.m., aim to finish eating by 6 p.m. Focus on foods rich in omega-3s like fatty fish, walnuts, and flax seeds. These literally build the structure of your brain. Add in leafy greens, berries, and fermented foods like yogurt or kimchi to support your gut-brain axis. That connection is powerful. The bacteria in your gut produce neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA, which help regulate mood and anxiety. And don't skip protein. Getting around 40 grams of protein in your first meal helps activate dopamine pathways, keeping you focused and uplifted instead of foggy and lethargic. Now let's move to sleep. Quality sleep isn't about luck. It's about precision. Wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. That single habit anchors your circadian rhythm and helps you fall asleep more easily at night. Within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, get sunlight exposure. Natural light signals your brain to suppress melatonin and increase cortisol at just the right levels to energize you, not stress you. Avoid caffeine past 2 p.m. and dim your lights in the evening to trigger melatonin production. Keep your bedroom cool and device-free, and avoid using your bed for anything other than sleep. These aren't minor tweaks. They are neurobiological triggers that tell your brain it's time to shut down. Sleep is when your brain clears out toxins, consolidates memory, and resets emotional circuits. Skip it and you're not just tired, you're chemically imbalanced. Lastly, movement. Exercise is not just for your body, it's how you build a resilient brain. Just 30 minutes of movement each day, especially in the form of cardiovascular activity like walking, biking, or swimming, boost brain-to-grid neurotrophic factor, BDNF. That's the molecule that helps your brain grow, repair, and adapt. It's your internal antidepressant, your natural anti-anxiety compound. Even low-level movement, walking while taking phone calls, stretching between work sessions can stabilize your mood and enhance cognitive function. If you can, try to move in the morning to align with your energy peak, and again in the late afternoon to break the stress buildup of the day. When it comes to mental clarity and emotional balance, the foundation begins with how and when you eat. Your brain is an energy-intensive organ consuming about 20% of your daily caloric intake. But it's not just about calories. It's about the quality and timing of what you feed it. Eating within a 10-hour window each day, also known as time-restricted feeding, helps your body align with its natural circadian rhythm. When you give your digestive system a predictable schedule, your brain benefits from better metabolic function, hormone regulation, and reduced systemic inflammation. That leads to more energy during the day and deeper, more restorative sleep at night, which are both crucial for staying mentally sharp and emotionally grounded. Let's talk about what to include in that eating window. First and foremost, your brain needs fats, but not just any fats. Omega-3 fatty acids are essential for building and maintaining cell membranes in the brain. They support synaptic plasticity, meaning your brain's ability to adapt, learn, and regulate mood. You can get omega-3s from fatty fish like salmon or sardines, but also from walnuts, chia seeds, and flax seeds if you're plant-based. Including these fats daily is like giving your brain the raw material it needs to function at its highest level. Next, don't underestimate the power of protein. Starting your day with 30 to 40 grams of protein found in eggs, Greek yogurt, lean meats, or plant-based options like lentils and tofu triggers the release of dopamine, the neurotransmitter linked to motivation, focus, and a sense of reward. When you skip protein or delay it until later in the day, you may find yourself feeling more fatigued, distracted, or even irritable. Protein also helps stabilize blood sugar levels, preventing the spikes and crashes that often lead to anxiety or brain fog. Equally important is your gut health. There's a direct line of communication between your gut and brain, often referred to as the gut-brain axis. When you eat fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, or kimchi, you're feeding the beneficial bacteria in your gut that produce mood-regulating neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA. These microbes also influence your immune response and inflammation levels, two critical factors in brain function and emotional regulation. And let's not forget hydration. Even at mild levels, reduces alertness, slows cognition, and increases the perception of stress. Aim to drink water steadily throughout the day and avoid relying on sugary drinks or excess caffeine, which can spike energy but lead to crashes later. Eating with intention, both in timing and content, gives your brain what it needs to stay balanced, focused, and resilient. It's not about perfection or restriction. It's about providing consistent, nourishing input to support the complex and beautiful system that is your mind. When your nutrition aligns with your brain's biology, mental clarity and emotional calm become much more than just goals. They become your new baseline. Waking up at the same time every day and getting sunlight exposure early in the morning may sound simple, but this one habit is a powerful reset button for your brain and body. It taps directly into your circadian rhythm, the internal biological clock that governs when you feel awake, alert, tired, hungry, and even how well you handle stress. When you anchor your circadian rhythm with consistent wake-up timing and natural light exposure, you help your brain shift into a state of clarity, focus, and balance that lasts throughout the day. Let's break this down. Your circadian rhythm is primarily set by light. When you wake up and step outside within 30 to 60 minutes of sunrise, natural light enters your eyes and signals a part of the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This region tells the rest of your body the day has begun. As a result, cortisol, your body's natural alertness hormone, rises to the optimal level. Contrary to popular belief, this early morning cortisol spike is not harmful. In fact, it's crucial. It helps you feel energized, improves your ability to concentrate, and establishes a timer for melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep later that night. If you miss that morning light exposure or wake up inconsistently, your circadian rhythm begins to drift. That leads to delayed melatonin release, restless nights, poor quality sleep, and a sluggish mind during the day. It also increases anxiety because your stress hormones lose their predictable cycle and your emotional regulation system becomes disorganized. Consistency is critical. Even if you go to bed late, try to wake up at the same time. It's the wake-up cue, not the bedtime, that has the strongest influence on resetting your rhythm. Over time, your sleep will naturally shift earlier as your internal clock recalibrates. Now, why sunlight instead of artificial indoor light? The answer lies in brightness. Outdoor sunlight, even on a cloudy day, is significantly more intense than indoor lighting, up to 100 times more. This intensity is what your brain needs to accurately register the beginning of the day. Spending just 10 minutes outside in the morning, or 20-30 minutes if it's very cloudy, sets your rhythm properly. This also improves your mood through increased dopamine production in key brain areas tied to motivation and joy. If you can pair this morning routine with some light movement like a walk or stretching, the benefits multiply. Movement increases your body temperature, another signal to your brain that the day has started. It promotes better blood flow, oxygen delivery, and neurotransmitter activity, all crucial for mental clarity. This routine doesn't require money, medication, or major life changes. It requires discipline, consistency, and a respect for the way your biology is designed to work. When you wake up at the same time daily and greet the morning light, you send a powerful signal to your brain. We are in control. We are grounded. We are ready. From that point forward, your focus sharpens, your worries soften, and your body begins to follow a rhythm of stability and strength. Caffeine can be a powerful tool when used wisely, but it can also quietly sabotage your mental clarity, sleep quality, and emotional balance when consumed at the wrong time. One of the most overlooked yet impactful habits for mental wellness is limiting caffeine after 2 p.m. and designing an evening environment that encourages melatonin production. This combination supports deep restorative sleep, which in turn enhances your ability to think clearly and manage stress the next day. These are not just lifestyle preferences, they are biological necessities rooted in how your brain and nervous system operate. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine, a molecule in your brain that builds up during the day and makes you feel sleepy at night. When you consume caffeine late in the day, it masks your sleep signals, keeping you artificially alert even as your body tries to wind down. This leads to a delayed onset of sleep, reduced deep sleep, and more fragmented rest overall. You may fall asleep eventually, but you won't get the quality of rest your brain needs to process emotions, clear out waste, and reset for the next day. Even if you think caffeine doesn't affect your sleep, research shows it can stay in your system for 6 to 8 hours, sometimes longer. It quietly disrupts your sleep cycles, making your rest lighter and less regenerative. That's why limiting your caffeine intake to the morning and early afternoon, ideally before 2 p.m., is a foundational rule for protecting your mental sharpness and emotional stability. But timing is just one part of the equation. The second is creating a sleep-friendly environment that promotes the natural rise of melatonin, your body's sleep hormone. Melatonin production is closely tied to light exposure. Bright lights in the evening, especially from screens, signal your brain to stay awake. That's why dimming your lights 2 hours before bed can make a dramatic difference. Lower the brightness on your devices, switch to warm colored bulbs, or use blue light filters to reduce melatonin suppression. Also, reduce stimulating input. This means turning off intense music, stopping work tasks, and avoiding emotionally triggering content close to bedtime. Instead, engage in calm, predictable routines, reading a book, journaling, or stretching. These behaviors signal to your nervous system that it's safe to relax. Temperature also plays a role. Your body needs to cool down slightly to fall asleep and stay asleep. Set your bedroom to a cooler temperature, around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. And avoid heavy meals or intense workouts in the 2 hours leading up to bed. Together, these habits reset your biological rhythms. By cutting off caffeine early and designing your evenings to support melatonin production, you give your brain the environment it needs to downshift. The result isn't just better sleep, it's better focus, reduced anxiety, and increased resilience throughout the day. You can't have a fresh, worry-free mind if your body is stuck in a state of biological confusion. Honor your internal rhythms, and your brain will reward you with clarity, calm, and control. Exercise is often framed as a tool for weight loss or physical health, but its true power lies in what it does for your brain. Engaging in just 30 minutes of daily movement, whether it's walking, cycling, swimming, or any form of cardiovascular activity, directly impacts your mental clarity, emotional resilience, and ability to handle stress. This isn't about extreme workouts or pushing your body to the limit. It's about using movement to activate specific brain chemicals and systems that keep your mind fresh and worry-free. When you exercise, your body produces a protein called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF. Think of BDNF as fertilizer for your brain. It supports the growth and repair of neurons, strengthens existing neural connections, and helps you form new ones. This is essential for learning, memory, and emotional regulation. BDNF also acts as a natural antidepressant. People with higher levels of BDNF tend to experience lower rates of anxiety and depression. So when you move your body, you're not just sweating, you're upgrading your brain's operating system. Cardiovascular exercise also boosts the production of dopamine and serotonin, neurotransmitters that play key roles in motivation, pleasure, and mood stability. A single session of moderate intensity movement can lift your mood almost immediately, and the cumulative effects of daily movement build a mental foundation that resists stress and fatigue. It's like building emotional armor, one step, one breath, one heartbeat at a time. Movement also increases blood flow to the brain, delivering more oxygen and nutrients to critical areas like the prefrontal cortex, which governs focus, decision-making, and impulse control. When this part of the brain is well cemented, you feel more in control, more alert, and less reactive to daily stressors. That's why many people find they can think more clearly, solve problems faster, and regulate their emotions better after a simple workout or even a brisk walk. What's more, regular movement helps regulate cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol isn't inherently bad. It helps you respond to challenges, but chronically elevated levels can damage your mood, memory, and immune system. Exercise helps bring cortisol back into balance so your body doesn't stay stuck in fight or flight mode. That means fewer racing thoughts, more emotional stability, and a greater sense of calm throughout the day. And don't overlook the power of movement to reset your nervous system. If you've been sitting for hours, feeling stuck, anxious, or unfocused, even 5 to 10 minutes of walking, stretching, or light movement can shift your mental state. It signals to your body and brain that you're not in danger, that you're adaptable, and that you're capable of responding, not just reacting to the world around you. Incorporating 30 minutes of movement each day doesn't require a gym membership or athletic background. It requires intention. Choose movement you enjoy, schedule it like an appointment, and make it non-negotiable. Over time, the benefits compound. You'll notice your mind becoming clearer, your emotions more steady, and your ability to manage life's demands growing stronger. Movement isn't just something you do, it's how you reclaim control of your brain and your life. The human brain is not built to operate in chaos or randomness. It thrives on rhythm, consistency, and alignment with your body's natural biology. When you align your daily habits of eating, sleeping, and exercising with the way your brain is wired, something powerful begins to happen. You stop feeling like you're constantly reacting to life and instead begin to feel anchored, focused, and emotionally in control. This is not a vague promise. It's a measurable, physiological response to daily choices that support your mental and emotional well-being. Let's start with the idea of alignment. Your brain operates on a 24-hour cycle known as the circadian rhythm. Every function, your energy, focus, mood, appetite, and sleep is tied to this clock. When your meals, rest, and activity fall into predictable patterns that honor this rhythm, your brain receives clear signals. It knows when to release cortisol to help you focus, when to boost dopamine for motivation, and when to release melatonin so you can wind down at night. That clarity allows your thoughts to flow smoothly, your emotions to stay balanced, and your worries to quiet down. Eating at consistent times, especially within a 10-hour window, keeps your digestive and hormonal systems stable. When your blood sugar is regulated and your gut is supported with nutrient-rich foods, your brain receives the steady energy it needs to function at its peak. Add high-quality proteins, omega-3 fats, fermented foods, and plenty of hydration, and you give your brain the chemical building blocks it needs to create neurotransmitters like serotonin, GABA, and dopamine, each of which directly affects your mood and mental sharpness. Sleeping at consistent times, and especially waking up at the same time daily, reinforces the body's natural circadian cues. This consistency doesn't just help you fall asleep faster, it improves the quality of your rest. During deep sleep, your brain cleans itself, consolidates memories, and resets emotional processing systems. If you're sleeping erratically or not honoring your body's wind down process in the evening, you're depriving yourself of this reset. That's when mental fog, irritability, and worry begin to build. But with aligned sleep habits, you wake up mentally refreshed and emotionally lighter. Exercise, too, plays a vital role in aligning the mind and body. Movement helps regulate stress hormones, releases endorphins, and increases neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt, grow, and strengthen. Just 30 minutes of movement per day supports better sleep at night, improves mood during the day, and provides a consistent release valve for mental tension. Movement reinforces that daily rhythm your body craves. When you combine all three, smart eating, consistent sleep, and daily movement, you create a stable internal environment where your brain can function without interference. That's where true clarity emerges. Your mind isn't bouncing between highs and lows. You're no longer relying on willpower alone to get through the day. Instead, your biology begins to support your goals, focus, and peace of mind. This is how you become worry less, not by eliminating stress from life, but by building a brain and body that are strong enough to meet it with clarity and calm. In a world that constantly pulls at our attention and tests our emotional resilience, the ability to stay mentally fresh and worry-free can feel elusive. But the truth is, your mind isn't broken or weak. It's simply responding to how you live each day. When your lifestyle is out of sync with your biology, your brain pays the price. But when you start aligning your daily routines, what you eat, how you sleep, and how you move, with the way your brain is designed to function, everything begins to shift. You gain clarity, you feel grounded, you stop spiraling in stress and start showing up with control and calm. Food isn't just fuel, it's information. Every bite tells your brain what kind of day to prepare for. Eating within a 10-hour window helps stabilize your internal clock, making your energy more consistent and your sleep more effective. Prioritizing omega-3 fats, fermented foods, proteins, and hydration gives your brain the nutrients it needs to build neurotransmitters and regulate mood. When your gut is balanced, your thinking becomes sharper and your emotions more steady. You're not chasing caffeine or sugar highs. You're operating on clean, stable energy that supports long-term mental clarity. Sleep, meanwhile, is where your brain resets. It's when emotional toxins are cleared out, memories are sorted, and your stress response system gets recalibrated. But this doesn't happen by accident. It starts with waking up at the same time each morning and getting natural sunlight within the first hour. That single habit sends a powerful cue to your brain. The day has begun. It boosts alertness, sets a timer for melatonin to release later, and anchors your entire circadian rhythm. Avoiding caffeine after 2 p.m., dimming lights in the evening, and cooling down your environment prepares your body for deep restorative sleep. That kind of sleep isn't just rest, it's a transformation. Then there's movement. Exercise is often misunderstood as a tool for physical fitness, but its greatest benefits may be psychological. With just 30 minutes of daily movement, your brain releases BDNF, a compound that helps neurons grow and adapt. You also get a healthy dose of dopamine and serotonin, which elevate your mood, sharpen your focus, and reduce anxiety. Movement increases blood flow to the brain, balances cortisol, and gives your nervous system an outlet for built-up stress. It makes you mentally tougher, emotionally more stable, and physically more energized. When you combine all of this, eating deliberately, sleeping consistently, and moving daily, you create alignment between your biology and your behavior. That's the key. Mental clarity and emotional resilience aren't mysterious or random. They're the result of systems working the way they're meant to. You don't have to fight your brain or force your way through stress. You have to support your brain with the rhythms it needs. When you do, you'll find that focus returns, anxiety fades, and the weight you've been carrying lifts. It's not magic, it's science, and it starts with how you choose to live, one day at a time.